Here's a clip from the latest episode of What the Hair Do I Know? Check out the full episode wherever you get your podcast, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or Spotify. Please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And so tell me how you landed the show.
So let's see.
I mean, you left college and you're like, woo, you're just skyrocketing.
I'm just riding this court reporting train
all the way.
just to show my mom that how cool this job was.
Yeah, for real.
Let's see. How did I find this? Okay, so one day I get this call from an executive producer, and she calls me and says, "Hey, someone gave me your name, and would you be interested in this court show we're doing?" And so, I asked her how she found me, and what happened was Judge Judy was going to be starting this new show. She had just retired, and Amazon picked her up and said, "We're going to start a new show. We want you to come to our platform. We want to get your huge audience and your following and bring them to our platform and bring them to the streaming side." So Judy said, "Well, if I'm going to do this again, I want to do it differently, and I want a real courtroom scenario. I want it to have a real court reporter that I can have read back and talk to. I want a court clerk that can do on-the-spot research for me." So she told her executive producer, find me a court reporter. And so what happened was the executive producer, Amy, she started looking for a reporter. And I really think she must have Googled court reporters in Los Angeles,
Really?
So she happens to come across LACRA, which is the LA County Court Reporters Association. And they are the union that represents all the court reporters that work for the county of Los Angeles. So I used to be a LACRA member when I worked for LA County, and I used to be on the board. And so I still have all my contacts. I still know all those reporters. We all stay connected. And so when Amy called and said, "Hey, we're looking for a court reporter that would be interested in doing the show. Do you know anybody?" They said, "Well, all of our court reporters work for the county. They can't take days off to tape.
Right.
They work every day in the
Right.
county." And so they said, "You're going to need to find an independent contractor." They said, "You know what? Try Whitney Kumar." And so they gave them my name and number. And so she called me, said, "Hey, they gave me your name and number. Would you be interested?" And I said, oh, maybe,
Did you answer the phone call?
I answered the phone call, and I said, "What?" I was really taken aback.
Yeah.
And I go, "Oh, maybe, okay. Maybe, I don't know." And so she goes, "All right, well, can you send us a video of what you look like and sound like, because this was during the COVID time. And so we couldn't do anything in person. I couldn't go meet them." So I said, "Oh, okay, I'll make a video." And so I go, "What am I going to do? I don't know how to do this stuff." And so my husband was like, "You got to do this. This is so cool.
Yes.
I'll help you."
Yeah.
So he helps me make this video that night on his iPhone, and he interviews me. I'm doing outfit changes. He has me on my machine. He has the kids and I hugging. He stitches it all together with background music.
Oh my gosh.
Was beautiful. I go, "Gosh, BJ, this is almost too good." And so I emailed it to the executive producer that night, and I said, "Here you go. Here I am."
Yeah.
And the next day she calls me and says, "Whitney, we emailed your video to Judy last night. Woke up to an email this morning saying, 'You're perfect. She doesn't even need to meet you, doesn't want to interview anybody else. Do you want to do it?'" And I said, "You are kidding me. I was not expecting that." It happened very fast. And so I said, "Okay, let's do this," and I was terrified.
I can imagine, but what was going through your head? What were you thinking?
I was thinking, what have I done? I don't think I can do this. I don't know what I'm doing. But then I thought, no, it'll be fun. I can do this. I've been reporting for so long. This is just another reporting job. But the funny thing is, when I showed up the week before, I was down there doing some stuff. I had to do some physicals, and they had to do some prep stuff before the show starts. And so the producer invited me over. She said, "Do you want to see the stage, while you're out here in Culver City?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And I was with my mom. And so my mom and I drove over there, and they showed us the set. And she said, "This is where you're going to sit. You're going to be sitting right here on, next to Judy." And I said, "Excuse me?" So this whole time I imagined myself sitting in the well. It's called the well, and that's where normally the court reporter sits.
Okay.
And you're just be kind of right below the judge. You're in the middle. Nobody
Yeah.
can really see you. You're
Yeah.
just the quiet person in the
Yes.
courtroom. And so I thought, I'll just be sitting there just reporting, you know. And they said, oh, no, you're on stage. You're sitting right next to Judy. You're in opening credits. You're going to be reading back. She's going to be talking to you. And I was like, excuse me?
The pressure.
I had a panic attack. I go, oh my gosh, Mom, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't believe I've gotten myself into this situation, you know, felt like such a fraud. And so but you know, what could I do now? There was no going back. So
Can you imagine?
I went for it.
That's amazing. I can't even, I'm trying to wrap my head around what you probably were thinking at that time. Like, I'm freaking out for you, but you've done amazing so far. Can you imagine if you like switch with your sister?
I know.
I can't do it today. And she went in.
I know. Everyone always asks us, can't you just switch if you're sick? And it's funny because I always did want to play a joke on Judy where we switched just in the morning or something, where when she came out to see if she would notice. But everyone was like, oh, I don't know. You know, once Judy starts, she doesn't like to stop.
Yeah.
And so, but the other day, my sister did come to visit me on set, and I put her in. I had my hair and makeup people there do her, you know, make her look just like me. I let her borrow one of my blazers, and they sat her right in the front of the audience. And so when Judy took the bench, I was kind of waiting to see if she would notice my identical twin sitting right in front of her.
Right,
you know?
right.
And I could tell the moment Judy realized it, because I could see her eyes kind of looking at her. But then she would keep, you know, talking to the litigants, but you could tell something was catching her eye. So then as soon as the case was over and she walked back, she's like, Whitney, come here. That has got to be your sister in the audience, right? And I go, yes, that's her. You spotted
She
her.
went up to you?
She went up to me and asked me, that's your sister in the audience, right? And I was like, that's her. So then my sister came back and we got some fun photos with Judy. She was so excited.
What's it like to work with someone like Judge Judy? She's such a strong, respectful, amazing woman.
I mean, she's like,
don't take no crap.
No, she doesn't. You know what? It's amazing. She's just such a legend, you know, like this icon. So we just finished our 4th season, and I swear to you, every time she takes the stage, I still look at her and I'm in awe. I'm like, I've seen Judy. Everyone's seen Judy. I mean, she's been on TV for almost 30 years. And so I remember coming home from school and Judge Judy was on, you know, and everybody knows her. And I'm just like, who would have thought that I would be sitting here one day working with Judge Judy, you know? And she is amazing. I find her so fascinating and inspirational. She's just so strong and like just opinionated and smart. And she's 82, and I cannot even believe how sharp and witty she is. And
sharp.
she just has it still. And she's just like that perfect amount of opinionated, like she just says it like it is. And I love it. I love it. And she really takes care of the people that work with her. You know, she makes sure that everyone that's works with her have been with her from day one of Judge Judy, and they followed her to this show. I mean, she really takes care of you, you know? And so I just really respect her. And she goes over every single case. She looks over every single exhibit. Her work ethic is insane. So she's just...
So tell me how the show works, because people who don't know if it's real life, how does it set up?
Yeah, everyone wants to know if they're real cases or not, and they're definitely real cases. Yeah. And so there's producers, there's people that look at court dockets all over the country and read them, and if it sounds interesting, they call them and say, hey, how do you feel about having your case heard on Judge Judy? And a lot of people, it's exciting. They get flown out to LA and get to stay out in LA, you know, and a lot of time it's their first time on an airplane. And so they find these cases from all over, but they have to be a real filed case in court. And Judy can award up to $10,000 on this show. It used to be $5,000 on Judge Judy, but on Judy Justice, on our show, she can award up to $10,000. So we get some pretty substantial cases, you know, some pretty interesting cases, and they can take over an hour, and she's listening to both sides. There's a countersuit, there's a ton of exhibits, there's witnesses. I mean, so it's really interesting. And these cases are very interesting. I mean, they're finding these cases, they're bringing them on for a reason, you know?
Right. How long is the production day? Like, how long is that day?
So my call time, for instance, I come in at 8:30 in the morning, and I'm in hair and makeup. I've got a hair and makeup person there that they have for me, and my own trailer, just super fun. And so, yeah, I'm in hair and makeup, and then I get on stage at 10 a.m. I mean, usually she likes to start right at 10. We are going, and we have 7 cases typically a day. And so she runs it like a regular courtroom. We'll hear a case, we bring